Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
All right, welcome back to another interview from day 2 of MBCC. We're joined by
Raf from Bokkereyder.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome, Raf.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So are you excited about being at MBCC?
Yeah.
You glad about being back? Second year in a row?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's always fun being
Awesome.
here. Yeah.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you on the show.
Yeah. How do you feel about the response to your beers here?
That's okay. I think, that's okay. People like it, I think. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge lines. I mean,
I don't understand it. No, it's fun. It's humbling. Seriously. Like.
Well, you made quite a boom in the beer scene, or beer globally.
Yeah.
So why do you think that Bokkereyder has become such a massive popular success?
I don't know. Seriously, I wish I knew. I don't understand. I still don't understand it. It's just a few years I'm doing this, and I don't know. I'm just doing beer on a small scale, as much as one person can do.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just make beer I like in a most simple way, the traditional way of blending lambic with fruit and with saison and a few new things. I try to give a twist to the traditional lambic while maintaining all the respect for what lambic is and the history and the culture of lambic. It's fun. It's cool. People seem to like it, so yeah.
Well, I mean, the beer's delicious, so I mean, I'm not surprised that the line formed today.
Yeah.
And yesterday as well, of course. But I mean, as soon as we walked in the door today, the line was basically all the way out the door.
Yeah. Well, the line was there, but I wasn't there yet. So.
Well, that's the way you got to do it, right? The Rockstar entrance.
Fashionably late. So.
Exactly.
We're Belgians, it's a bit.
Well, you take it in your time, right?
Yeah. I was still living in a Belgian time zone.
Exactly. No, I remember when the first time I went to Brussels. Just like the Belgian style, just talking about that.
Yeah.
We had a bus ticket booked from the city center to go to the airport, and the bus was overbooked, and the guy standing in the bus center was just like, "Well, what can I do?" It's just like, "Well, fuck."
Yeah, welcome to Belgium.
Exactly. It was like, "Well, we're going to do shit on our terms, and if you don't like it, then well, too bad for you."
Yeah. That's the way it is. I cannot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's also the way that most people are successful, right? Because you're doing what you enjoy doing, and you're in your way. If someone else doesn't like it, then they don't like it. If people do, then that's a great success.
Yeah, I'm surprised in a way, but I only release the beer I like myself. Like we dump a lot of beer, we do a lot of experiments. By doing new things, completely new things with lambic, of course, there's a lot of failure as well.
Yeah.
If we make a batch of lambic, a new blend or something, and it's not good, we just dump it. It's never going to be released. Our customers, we are our own guinea pigs. My friends at home are my guinea pigs. But,
we got to move to Brussels so we can be guinea pigs.
You should come over. You should come over, then you know what disgusting lambic is. So,
yeah, maybe we should do a Bokkereyder tour for the show.
If I ever have time for it.
But so how much do you produce a year right now? Do you know roughly, or?
I don't know. It's hard to estimate. Well, I have to look on invoices and paperwork, then I can tell you exactly. But I don't know exactly right now. But it's also a slow process of building a lambic blender, of course.
Exactly.
Right now, we're approaching the time where we have 1, 2, and 3-year-old lambic finally.
Yeah.
So I started this whole thing in 2013 as a home blender. That's only 4 years ago. And then from 2014 it became a business. But it takes time. It takes a few years to build a certain stock of lambic.
Yeah.
Slowly the volumes are increasing, but we cannot force it. I take care of the lambic. That's the only thing I do. But lambic being a natural beer, it decides. Lambic is always the boss.
Yeah.
I'm the owner, but the lambic is the boss. And it's different season to season. It's different. We have lambic now in barrels that's almost 2 years old. Normally we start using lambic after 1 year, and we blend it in with 2 years old, and we start making fruit blends with it. Most of the fruit blends are 1 or 2 year old lambic only. But last year was a strange year. The 1-year-old lambic was just not there yet. The year before, the lambic evolved much faster. It was much more mature.
Yeah.
Last year it was not like that. So last year we were kind of we had to wait. But the consequence of that is that this year we have a bigger stock of lambic.
Just chilling the wind a little bit.
Yeah.
So have you do brew your own lambic as well, or do you only buy from other producers?
I buy from 3 lambic breweries.
Yep.
I buy Saison from Fonta in Wallonia. I buy 1 batch of beer every year there. A few months ago, but the beer will not be ready for another while. A few months ago, a friend of mine brewed a Saison at a friend's brewery. It's fermented with Saison yeast first and then blended in with lambic immediately. It's fully oak fermented and it's oak aging now. It's going to take another while, but basically I have 5 suppliers. Also work closely together with a local winery. Since 2013 I buy grapes to make grape lambics. And today we are releasing a collaboration, which is a wine of mixed fermentation.
Nice.
It's a Chardonnay, blended in at a very early stage with 10% of young lambic. The lambic took over the whole fermentation and just made it like bone dry. It was barrel aged for well over a year. The third on new French oak. So it is a wine, but with the influence of lambic. The lambic is definitely on the nose. It's definitely there.
Sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's lambic is often said lambic is the wine of the beer world.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're just taking it one step further by actually blending wine with lambic. And I think that's very interesting too.
That's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
So that's released today?
Yeah, today at 6 p.m.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, here in Copenhagen or?
Yeah, here at the festival. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
We brought 1 case. It's going to go crazy, I think.
Yeah, it's probably going to be completely
It's going to go fast.
Yeah. But it's the first time it got out of the winery. So it's actually made at the winery, of course.
Oh, nice.
In collaboration with me, like I know how the lambic develops, and the winemaker knows how the wine develops, and kind of set together, and we sampled so many times, and it was bottled very early this year.
Yeah.
So it's about half a year in a bottle now, the wine, and it's really good. Apart from being different, it's always easy to do something different, but doing something different that's also good, it's a different thing. That's but I think it's really good wine.
Nice. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to see if we can get our hands on some of that later. Yeah.
You can bribe me now if you want.
Well, we can if we just turn off the recording for a little bit, we'll see what we can do. But so, what made you get into blending?
At some point, just a few things came together. Like, at some point, you can just put like a lot of pieces of the puzzle together, and it fits. So it started off like more than 10 years ago. I developed a huge interest in beer, craft beer. So I started visiting a lot of breweries in Belgium, outside of Belgium, everywhere, going through the different styles of beer, exploring everything. Then after a while, I developed like a serious interest in lambic, being that one beer that's totally different from all the other beers. And it's also very convenient because in Belgium there's lambic breweries. So, so you know what? I talked to those people, and that's one thing. Another thing is that I'm very interested in wine for many years as well. And in Belgium there's not so many wineries, but a lot of them are located around my hometown. So I know those people for many years. And in 2013, it just so happened to be that one of the winemakers had an empty barrel. It was 5 years old or something, so it's oak neutral, and for a winery it doesn't have a purpose anymore. So he gave me that barrel. It was a small 100-liter barrel. Then I went to one of the lambic brewers and asked, "Hey, can I fill this barrel with lambic?" He said, "Yeah, just take some young lambic." The barrel was put in the trunk of my car, filled in the trunk of my car. It was not easy to get it out. It's about 140 kilos full.
Jesus.
We dragged it out. And that was my first barrel of lambic. And that same summer, a friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, my girlfriend has sour cherries in her garden. Do you want to make a kriek?" And that's how things just come together all at once. I had a barrel, had lambic, and I had cherries, and I was like, "Yeah, let's make a kriek." And then we made a kriek, and it was awful. Yeah, and then you're like, fuck, let's try it again next year. That's how everything started going.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it just grew like over the last few years. It grew in a very organic way.
Yeah.
Like, more barrels, more lambic, some special barrels, more fruits. I know a lot of farmers in our region. In the province where I live, in the south of the province, that's where the fruit region of Belgium is. Haspengouw is a lot of the fruit production, like apples, pears, cherries, raspberries. So there's a good access for me to fresh fruit. So yeah, that's where I get a lot of my fruits.
Nice.
It's local. It's all locally sourced.
Awesome.
It's fun. It's easy. Yeah.
So, out of all of the beers you've made so far, which one?
Question.
Exactly. Well, that question. Which
one?
one is your favorite?
Which was your favorite baby?
It's Girardin Black Label Goose. It's not even my beer.
Well, that is an excellent beer. So.
Oh, seriously, it's just that one goose that has it all.
Yeah.
Very consistently. It's the goose. Girardin is also one of the lambics I use for my blends. Yeah, it's a lambic with such a solid foundation, such a complexity. It's unmatched.
Yeah.
It's the goose I dream of making one day, maybe.
It's one of those ones that's also, it's really good fresh, but it's also very, very good when it's aged a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's good fresh. It's good after a year. It's good after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, whatever. And it just keeps changing and evolving in the best of ways.
It's a really beautiful beer.
Yeah,
it's like one of those ones that I always try to get a couple of bottles of when I'm in Belgium, just to bring home. Drink some fresh, put some away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great beer. But as far as my own beers go, that was actually your question.
Well, you dodged it really well right there.
I make so many different beers, and I think every beer has its moment of drinking. Like it's just to show a small example, like seasons, like the spring, and in spring I'd rather have like a slightly fruited beer, or maybe one with flowers, like elderflower lambic. In summer you want really refreshing beers, and in winter. My favorite in winter is Pinot Creek, which hasn't seen the light of day for a while now, but soon we will have a new batch. And
nice.
It's just it's a creek with a 1 year maceration, so the whole cherries go in the oak barrel and it's for a whole year.
Oh wow!
And the creek being mostly considered like a refreshing summer beer. If you do a whole year maceration in a freshly emptied Pinot Noir barrel, you get like that winey touch to the creek, and it's just and you get like a lot of spices from the barrel and from the pits of the cherries that fall through, and it just gives such a different twist to the creek. I'd actually consider that a winter beer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites for sure. That's a beer. That's a dream. A dream come true. That beer. It's beautiful.
So it went from like the first creek being not very good to now finding a place where you can make an excellent creek.
Well, I'm not going to say it's an excellent creek, but I like it a lot. The reason why it never really leaves my place is because we just share it with friends, and I love it so much that and also
you just want to keep it yourself.
That beer also keeps evolving in the best of ways. Like the 2014 batch, I still have some bottles of it, and just last.
All right, so we're going to hold a
it.
recording right there again, and we're going to talk about bribing for some 2014 Pinot Creek.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so it's a good beer. Yeah.
Nice.
And people like it whenever it comes out, and we serve it at a festival or at an event or something. Yeah, people seem to enjoy it a lot. So.
Nice. All right. Anything else you want to add to before we close out?
Keep drinking lambic.
Yeah,
lambic is a good beer. It's a healthy beer.
I think it's the best beer.
Full of yeast, full of good bacteria. It's good for you, lambic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just good, but good for you.
Exactly. Well, it's good and it's good for you.
It's a health tonic, basically. Basically, it's just vitamin water. Is what it is.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
It's the only thing you need in life.
Yep. That's it.
All right. Thank you very much, Raf.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we're here with Brad at Fun Factory, and welcome to What's on Tap podcast. We probably should introduce ourselves before we just ambush you.
All right. Now I'm out.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it.
Nice to meet you. You too.
This card. Cool. Thank you very much. It works well with our card.
That's us.
That is us. So welcome to Copenhagen Beer Week.
All right. Story checks out. Thanks. Glad to be here.
Oh my God, this is so amazing.
Yeah, so Katze Copenhagen is a sour blend. Typically, we are doing. We're part of the whole Method Lambic, Method Goose crowd, but sometimes we have barrels that mature faster, or we don't really necessarily embody the style. So, but they're still good. They're just this one matured way faster than we would. So this is actually a 12 to 14 month. I can't remember exactly how old, but barrel. So you would, if we were in Belgium, they'd be pouring young lambic, but it's matured past that point. We had that barrel 87, so we've had 187 and a couple of different variants. So we had earlier. Juice Springsteen was citrus peels. And we had a dry hop version yesterday. But Katze Copenhagen is a blended sour that uses a similar barrel.
Yeah, it's so nice and tart. We got you into the Method Gauzen.
That's mainly what we do. We have our cool ship. You can obviously on the podcast you can't see it, but. It's a two-story trailer. The bottom is where we store the totes. The top is the cool ship. It's a stainless steel, food grade, welded, and all that stuff. Cool ship. And then once we go to breweries, Octopi, Wisconsin Brewing, Penrose, friends of ours, and we started with Oso, so we do them. I believe we've done Rivertown. But we'll take the cool ship. We don't have brewing equipment, so they'll brew there. We'll pump it in the cool ship, let it spontaneously ferment overnight, get it down to 70 degrees, pump it into the totes, take it back to the warehouse, pump it into barrels, let it sit for, ideally, it's going to be ready in about 2 years. So we have a tap room opening next month. We finally have enough beer to supply the tap room. We're also doing a Mertz program. Mertz is the traditionally it's the second runnings lambic. We actually had a keg yesterday in the second section. It's if people are familiar with Grisette more, Grisette is to saison what Mertz is to lambic. So traditionally second runnings. Obviously brewing systems are way more efficient now, but we're brewing a recipe that simulates that, and you're not hopping it heavy. Traditionally they would use the same hops. We actually talked to Jean Van Roy, and he was like, I don't know much about it. And but we met someone that owned a restaurant and bar there, and he was able to tell us a little bit more about what to do. But it's a very, I want to say, interpretive style. It's not nearly as protected as lambic, and I know Pierre Tilquin is using Mertz to blend in for draft goose. So it's kind of Katze Copenhagen. It's kind of like that, the similar vein, but we're that Mertz itself, 4%. We were drinking yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna get a growler of it every time I mow the lawn. I'm drinking that beer, and I want to put some in gin barrels. I want to do a bunch of stuff with it. Like, it's just something you can crush, and you can pick up flavors, and it's super cool. So hopefully we're gonna do a program with that. But that's being done in fooders, and it's much shorter time. You do a couple months. You're pitching it with lambic dregs.
And apparently you just ran out too.
Good job. Yeah.
Excellent work.
We've ran out of every keg so far. It's actually funny because we see all the stouts, they do the cycle of Three Sons. Three Sons are the friends of ours, and go over there and getting their stout, and there's one person in line or no people in line. It's just, in America this would have been kicked, and I just would have got in and it would have been gone. But so this is a super cool event.
Yeah, no, what you guys are doing, this is an amazing drink. What it really inspires you guys with your brewery?
The Belgian lambics. We've loved Dre Fontaine, Oud Beersel, Cantillon obviously, and all that. Boone makes good beer.
Okay, so I feel like I'm American, but I haven't lived in the U.S. for quite a many years. I feel like Americans are just waking up to this Belgian sour lambic revolution that's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys seem to be kind of at the forefront of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think at least as a brewing style, America the last couple of years has been very heavy towards the acidic sours.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can put different fruits in it and do a bunch of cool stuff. And it's a good beer in its own right, but it's a little bit more to the sour end than what we want. We want balance. Granted, Levi's last name is Funk, but Funk Factory isn't just last name. It's we want funk. Like we want Brettanomyces to put out that characteristic. You get minerality is something that we really want, and we're just kind of coming into being able to get some of that, and we're trying to figure out a little bit more, trying to get that in part, because that's both of our. I hesitate speaking for Levi, but I think he's in agreement that that's our favorite characteristic of a good goose is minerality, a nice sparkling effervescence, not necessarily bone dry, but a good bite.
So holy shit, I just realized that Levi Funk, right?
Yeah.
So he's one of the prevalent members of the Milk the Funk group on Facebook. Yeah, exactly. So that's where I think I heard about this brewery from.
Sure.
Because I'm also a part of that, the group. Sorry, that was just a small side piece. It's like I just realized that.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Americans' acceptance to this style?
I mean, I think the Belgian breweries have done a very good service to us, especially the Cantillons and Tres Fontaine, and everybody is already looking for that style. So by the time, before we even opened, it basically started, we got wort from New Glarus, and Levi had a barrel in his basement that he was doing to drink himself. And that's kind of how the thing started. We had Mark from Oso came over and was like, this is really good, and we're like, hey, we should do this. So we were doing that with Oso, and now we've both kind of got our bearings in the, Oso's doing a bunch of good sours, and they do some of the Belgian style, but they also do some of the American style sours. They're doing a whole bunch of different fruits, and they're doing some cool stuff. And then we're doing, trying to do that more traditional approach towards things. And, that was a, super beneficial relationship that we had. So I think from day one, once we released beer, we didn't insta sell out the first batch, but once people got it, now we do 1,000 bottle batches, and you can do 2 per person and sell in 3 seconds on brown paper tickets. So, and that's with people having to drive up to Plover, Wisconsin. So now we're in Madison. We're closer to Milwaukee and Chicago. We're a little nervous. How do we have to do 1 per person? We have to do tiny batches or something like that, just to have product. And we're gonna be pouring at the tap room. We bottle specially bottles for the tap room. We're doing punch down barrels for the tap room. So from the wine world, they did the punch down. We basically just cut out the actual barrel, put a spigot on it, and twice a day go in, push the fruit down. We've already done Black Cap raspberries with Forager out of Rochester, Minnesota. They forage Black Cap raspberries, little tiny raspberries, and it almost looks like a stout. It's so dark. It is, and it's not like, if you're looking, some places are doing, fruited sours that are like 4 pounds per gallon.
Yeah.
It's not that level of amount of fruit. It's a good balance, but it just got dark. And I think the punch down has something to do with it, because we've done Fram Rude and Fram Pars, our red raspberry and purple raspberry sours in the Method Lambic. They have a nice color in their own right, but we've done Framrude in red raspberries in the punch down, and you get that just an extra color that comes out. So it's a cool project, and we're always trying to figure out exactly. We do Cervino, which is what we call it's basically half wine, half beer.
Oh, nice.
That's going to be on the next section, actually.
Damn, we're going to miss that.
I know.
So it's like
bad.
we have Chardonnay juice, but there's a lot. So if you're ever in Wisconsin,
We're booking our tickets right now.
right? You can come. We'll have it at Tap Room for sure. But I mean, we've also we took some of the juice and just for our own drinking pleasure.
As
fermented just the juice to make our own wine, but we pitched dregs from the barrels into it, so it's almost like it tastes like a spontaneous fermented wine. And then we did a couple treatments in white grapes. You have tartaric acid a lot, so Levi put tartaric acid in to give it a little bit more tartness. I put maltodextrin in mine. Maltodextrin is something that the IPA world is using to thicken body, but Brett can eat it. So
exactly.
You're not going to get eaten by a Saccharomyces, but Brett will eat it. So how do you get Brett Funk on something that's going to ferment out in 2 days? You add maltodextrin.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have a nice effervescent. We also bottled with champagne yeast to give it a little bit more effervescence. So we have this, we call it the supermoon because we blended it, or we bottled it on the day of the supermoon. But obviously it's not something, a commercial product that anyone can get, but it's a cool project that we love, and we're trying to figure out, Wisconsin has interesting laws with all the, can you be a cidery, a winery? We can't really do everything.
States have so many different unique
and
laws,
every state's different, but if we could be a winery too, we would be making this because it is fantastic. So if you come across grape juice, pour the end of a goose into into a 5 gallon carboy. See what you can do. Put some maltodextrin in there. I highly recommend. But you get a product that is it drinks like it's a 5% beer, but it's a 13% wine or 12% wine.
That's amazing.
And it's super crushable. It's
awesome. Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Funk Works is doing great. So if you're in Madison, Wisconsin area,
Funk Factory.
check you guys out. Funk Factory for sure. Okay, so we're here at Fonta Flora, and we're with Britt.
Hi there.
And you guys are kind of unique. You're an Appalachian-based brewery, and you seem to really be embracing the Appalachian heritage.
Absolutely. We get all of our grain. All of our grain is always local. We try to use some local hops when possible. Mostly for aging and using in Belgian beers. And then as far as our adjuncts go, most all of our ingredients are locally sourced. If they're not locally sourced, they're from small farmers. So like if we need to get cherries, we get them from Michigan, but we make sure that it's from a small farmer up in Michigan. Generally, we have ties with the person. So it's all about just supporting local communities and local agriculture is really the main thing that we do.
You have some unusual adjuncts in your beers. So like yesterday we saw a pawpaw based beer, and today we have the elderberries. And so what's your inspiration, or how do you decide on what to do in the beers?
I think that Todd just really is always looking for inspiration. We'll go on a hike, and see something that's growing wild and be like, can we use this in beer? Is this herb, something that we can use in beer? Let's put this tea in a beer, the one that we had yesterday was the elderberry and fennel, and Todd and I were making tacos one night and decided we make some kind of weird salsas. And so we said, like, let's put some fennel and blueberry and make it into a taco salsa. And then Todd was like, this is going to be a beer. So it was ended up being Big Shrub.
So from salsa to beer, that's a pretty big transition there.
Yep. I need a hug. Yeah, so food is definitely a big inspiration.
Yeah. So Fonta Flora, that's an interesting name. How'd you guys come up with that?
It's actually the name of a historical town that is right in or very close to Morganton, North Carolina, where we're located.
Okay.
We have it. So the town actually got flooded purposefully in the earlier part of the 20th century for the dam. So it's an actual town that's underwater right now.
Has it reemerged during drought seasons, or is it still underwater? All
It's
right.
under Lake James.
Okay. And so where are you based? North Carolina, you said?
Yeah, we're Morganton, North Carolina, so we're about an hour east of Asheville, North Carolina.
All right. And I see you have a new tattoo. What did you get?
I got the ginkgo leaf from Perennial.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
I have all nature-inspired tattoos, so I didn't want to stray too far.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they do really awesome stuff too.
Yeah, no kidding. And you guys are really, you're doing great here. I mean, it's turning out. Is it your first time here, or?
This is my first time here.
Okay.
It's Fonta Flora's second time here.
Okay.
Though. Yeah.
How do you feel about it so far?
It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It's coming from sort of a smaller place and going somewhere where, trying to explain to folks that live in even North Carolina about some of the ingredients we use is sometimes hard. Like, you can't buy pawpaws in a grocery store, so there's that, and it's like trying to translate to all these different cultures, but then sharing this with them, they love it, and it's so exciting. It's like a whole different appreciation for local, two.
North Carolina is a really good beer state. I mean, it's really, come on, I think the whole South has really become an interesting segment for brewing.
Yeah, it's blown up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really hard to even keep track of all the new breweries that are opening.
Yeah, I mean, from North South Carolina to Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Missouri. I mean, there's just so many great possibilities going on these days.
Yeah, it's I think the laws for us are relatively easy to get around. I think some of the neighboring states that don't have a huge brewery scene, it's because the laws in place don't allow them to. They don't make it easy for them to have a brewery. Whereas in North Carolina right now, it's pretty easy for us to do that.
All right, well, I'll let you get back to your pouring. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah,
and,
thank
you guys are super busy, so I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Hell yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Welcome to What's on Tap, and my name is Stefan, and
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Sarah?
Yeah.
And you guys are from Firestone Walker.
Yes.
So, welcome.
Thank you.
And it's your first time here?
Yeah, our first time, yeah.
First time here.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Copenhagen?
It's great. We've been having a really good time the last couple of days. Did some touristy stuff yesterday, hit a couple cocktail bars, tried some local beers. Having a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about Firestone's acceptance into the Scandinavian beer scene? Because you guys have really made some imprints here. You've got a distributor in the region.
Yes, in Sweden right now, And I've had a couple people come up to me and tell me that they're able to find our beer in some places in Sweden, and they want to know when we're going to get it in Denmark. We're working on it.
Yeah, so we're from Sweden.
Yeah.
And so we've got Eldorado and I don't remember what the last release was, but Velvet Merkin was both released in Scandinavia.
Great.
So what else can we expect for Sweden market?
Yeah.
For Denmark.
Yeah, we've been allocating our vintage releases for our international distribution.
Okay.
So you should see a limited distribution of all of our vintage.
So Slow-Mo and
Bravo and Parabola were the last two.
Yeah. Because we see the DBA and we see the kind of the standards on tap quite easily.
Yeah.
But the more specialty stuff that everyone's trying to find.
Yeah. I mean, I hear from people in the States where it's hard to find too. So, we're getting it out there as much as we can. And I know our international sales guy, Adrian Walker, he's working his ass off trying to get it out there. So
no, it's great because I think Firestone is an amazing brewery, and it's so great to see you guys really expanding into the European market more and more, especially Scandinavia, because that's where we're based. So it's truly great. So what's the philosophy behind Firestone?
I mean, just great beer, like trying to make the best beer we can, just quality, keep the quality high. Beer before glory is our motto. That's what we try to put out there in the public. Like, it's the beer.
The beer, of course.
It's all about the beer. Yeah.
But what do you specialize in? What do you go for first?
Of our stuff, I mean, I'd say probably like our barrel-aged beers are some of the best in the industry, if not the best, and our hoppy beers are amazing. So we have the Luponic Distortion right now.
Oh, it's so good.
We're just getting the 6th Revolution Rev 6 is coming out actually today on campus in Paso Robles. Yeah. So that should be going out there soon. That's great. And we have our new series, the Leo Versus series. That's we're getting ready for the second rotation of that as well. We have Fordham out right now. That's a double. Fordham is a double IPA, right? Yes, a double IPA.
All right.
It's very good. Cans, 16-ounce cans.
Little Opal is so good.
I love it. It's been going pretty quick today too.
Yeah, but you already sold out of the other one, right?
Yeah, we had a little more of the Little Opal than we had of the Parava Java, but the Parava Java went really quick.
And we were really disappointed we couldn't over here sooner, because that's what we really wanted to try. Little Opal is so good. So I don't feel like we're missing out here.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, no, Jim and Jeffers at our Barrel Works program, they're really killing it. So.
And what else? How did you pick the two for?
Honestly, I think it was Matt Reynolson that made the decisions about what beers to bring. I mean, we brought the ones that we thought were the best examples of our barrel aged program and our Barrel Works program, and also the ones that we thought people would like to try the most.
Okay. So what can we expect from the Malmo Beer Festival?
Oh, I did not. I don't know. I didn't know we were participating in that. I'm going to be honest.
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm assuming Adrian's going to be there. Yeah, I don't know. I can definitely find out and get to you.
Okay. Well, I mean, you guys are bringing amazing stuff here, and we're always excited about what we can get here in Europe, because I mean, quite frankly, America is doing some amazing stuff right now and doing really exciting things. And you guys are one of the premier breweries in the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So anytime we get something from Firestone, we're very, very excited to see it in Systembolag.
It's really great to have people coming up to us and telling us how much they love our beers and look for them and look forward to them, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. So what does Firestone have coming up that we should be excited for?
Well, the next round of the Leo Versus is coming out at Versus. Yeah, just doing kind of the first runs of that now. Okay. So that's coming up. Our next vintage release is the Sticky Monkey, 2017 Sticky Monkey. That's coming up. It's our Central Coast Quad. We'll have that one on, I believe, this afternoon. Sticky Monkeys this afternoon, I think. Yeah, so we'll have that on this afternoon, And we have a steady kind of rotation of the Barrel Works beers, too. We just released the Bretta Rosé. It was the last big one, and we have that on tomorrow morning. But yeah, Jim and Jeffers are killing it. That's what
we'll be here tomorrow morning, so we're really looking forward to that. We'll head to get you guys first.
Come by, please.
Definitely, for sure. Man, you guys are doing great stuff.
Thank you.
We love what you do.
Yeah.
And Firestone is one of our favorite breweries.
Great.
Thank you so much for taking
you.
your time,
Yeah.
and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of the fest.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Some Brewing, the one that you tried before, the 17.5% I brought.
All right,
That's the other guy who's part of this.
So we're doing a man in the street interview with you guys. I'm sorry, your name is?
I'm Mika.
And Mika and
Chris.
Chris, welcome. And so, what do you think of the festival so far?
Awesome.
It's amazing, as usual.
It really is amazing. And you have like 5, 7, 6.
It's hard to count.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Six different glasses
It's
in
kind
front
of a
you.
blur.
And what's the best thing you've tried so far?
I think Westbrook's 5th anniversary.
That was really good.
It's hard to say what the best is, but I think that's probably high up on my
I've
list.
tried a couple of beetroots, some
Really?
ales that are amazing.
Well, you're gonna go beetroot's amazing.
I do.
The
I do.
beetroot
I
raz.
do think so.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I also got to try the Olofsson.
The Olofsson was quite nice.
It was quite nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it wasn't at the festival.
No, it was not. Hopefully in the future it'll be in
But
the...
outside of the festival, it was great.
Yeah.
We're in a rush to get this.
But Omnipolo,
Yeah.
the Lorelei,
They're sold out. The Lorelei, they were all gone.
I got that in the
Jay
beginning,
Wakefield.
and that was probably one of the best.
Yeah, I had a Lorelei recently on bottle, and
But
it
this
is-
was better.
Oh, okay.
This
Good
was
to
better in the
know.
bottle. It was a different version of it.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah, wasn't the original one, but it was nice.
Really good. Okay.
It's typical Omnipolo Imperial Stout.
So what do you have in your glasses here?
We have, we don't even know. We have Black Tuesday.
Yeah.
We have Cycle Brewing.
Excellent.
Don't know what the
I
other ones
don't
are.
remember what this one is.
We have Voodoo Highland.
Oh, the IBS, you missed out. If you didn't get the IBS.
We have it in this glass.
All right, the IBS is
It's
amazing.
the IBS, that was the
Yeah.
best one. We just drank up the Buffalo Trace as
we
well.
have to fill this up
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
it's too late.
But now, unfortunately, we have to run.
Yes, of
Because we
course.
need to
Yeah.
fill that before they close.
Yes, of course you
one
do.
last glass.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And appreciate it.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Have a good